The new season of Siege Operation Collision Point was revealed today, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the Blackbeard rework, all of the operator changes, quality of life updates and console changes. Now I'm also going to show you some very weird hidden changes that are coming this season, including the addition of this medical box that now appears on a ton of maps in the game, and I'll also give you my view on this upcoming season. So we're going to start off here and take a look at the rework of Blackbeard. He no longer has the shield on top of the gun and now has a full working shield at his disposal. The glass window will drop down on the shield and his gun will swing over the top of that opening, and he can put the shield up on his back. Now we're going to take a look at his loadout. So basically you have no longer got a secondary weapon, you only have two primaries, the same ones that he had before, which is the MK17 and the DMR SR25, and then of course he's got nades and claymore in pocket. Now he of course has the shield, and this is what it looks like. So basically you have that glass window, like I said, that drops down, and I'm going to show you some of the functions that you can do with a Blackbeard here. So when you basically drop the window, it will take a few seconds for your gun to get over the top, so you're going to want to mess around with attachments to try and make this ADS speed a little quicker, because it is quite slow, but it's very quick to put the shield on your back. Now for going through doorways and windows, you can do this just like a normal shield operator would. You can push up to the door and just jump through the window. Now he also has his new ability, which is like a dash, kind of similar to Oryx. So you can dash through soft walls, you can do it to castle doors, deployable shields, and Azami barriers. Now you only get 4 of them, and when you use one, it takes some time to recharge. And just like you saw in that example there, when you go through a soft wall or break anything, it will slow you down for a couple of seconds. So it's not like Oryx where you can just kind of blow through a wall and just keep moving. So you're going to have to be aware of that suppression. Now you can also rappel straight in through windows. You don't need to punch the window, you don't need to put a breach charge on it. You can just go straight through the window and catch any defenders off guard. Now this would be cool to like team up with a Maru, so maybe the two of you can work together to just go straight into a bomb site or into the building and make a push towards the defenders. Now also you can see his mobility here. You can break through a door, break through a window, and then go straight through a wall. So you could have maybe like your teammates pushing behind you. It could be like a good kind of front man to kind of push towards a bomb site. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do here. Now one of the things you will notice is that when you're reloading your gun, you will move your shield out of the way, so you have to be very careful of that. So you can't just be reloading in a gunfight. So you're going to want to take cover and reload before re-engaging with the defenders. So another aspect for Blackbeard that you need to be aware of. Now we're going to take a look at some of the counters, and one of the biggest counters for the Blackbeard shield from what we've seen on the test server is with Clash. Clash is super strong against Blackbeard, and when she starts to electrocute him, his shield will move away from his body and his gun will go up in the air. He won't be able to ADS or shoot, so he's basically completely helpless, and whether that's going to get changed before the live build or not, it remains to be seen, but she's a really strong operator to use against him. Now there is another one, Tubero. If you throw his ice canister on the ground, it will slow him and he won't be able to use his dash ability. Now I'm showing you here from the other perspective as playing as Blackbeard what this looks like when you're hit with the Clash shield. Now it becomes absolute chaos. You can see in this clip there's just madness, everything going on. His shield's getting a hit away, but you can see here now he's getting hit with the Clash shield. His shield keeps moving away, his gun keeps moving away. You literally cannot do anything, so it's a really strong counter. Now another thing that's in there as well is the melee counter. Basically I went to run and dash at Oryx and Oryx dashed at me, and it basically just cancelled each other out, but he was able to dash me a second time and take me out. So another interesting change as well for melee interactions. Now we're going to take a look at some operator changes coming this season, the first of which is with Thunderbird. Thunderbird's been very underused over the past few seasons, so this is a good change, definitely a necessary one, so you might see more Thunderbird on the board. So basically when you place your Kona station on the ground, you get that initial 20 HP like normal, but what will happen is when you move away, you'll start regenerating your health back to full HP. Now, if you do get shot in the process, it will stop regenerating at the point that your HP is at, but it's still a really nice change, so you can hit the Kona station, take cover, and get your health back to full HP. Now we're going to look on to Sense. Sense has had a big change with his device. You can now roll it along the floor whether it's on or off. You can switch by toggling between rolling it while it's off and then activating it later, or activating it as normal. You'll see these little green lights running across the floor, so you could, like, there's so many different ideas you could run with this. You could preset these early in the round and then use them later on. They have a timer of about 13 seconds. You can throw all of them off and then activate them later. They don't activate individually, you have to activate them all at once. You cannot shoot them out, but they can be destroyed with explosives. So there's a lot of cool little creative ideas you can come up with your teammates if you're coordinated enough, and you can have these preset for later in the round when you're planting the diffuser. Now, one of the counters and one of the changes that have been made, Warden was the counter to this. Well, they've removed the ability for Warden to be able to counter Sense's walls. So basically now you will activate your Warden device, but you won't be able to see through the wall. You can see from the example here on screen, I activate my ability and I still can't see through the walls. The same goes for Glaz. You can't be kind of like a backup for Sense. Glaz can't see through the walls either. Now for Ying, a very small change here to help defenders a little bit. It's a little slower to activate when you let it timed up for those 3 spots. So basically when you time it up for the 3 and you roll it out, it will still have a small delay, giving the defender a chance to maybe shoot it on the floor. Now, to be honest with you, I never really get the chance to shoot him. When I see a Ying, I'm running. I'm running out of there. So it's a small change. I don't know how much it's going to change anything really, but from my experience, I just run away, take cover, and then re-engage the attacker. Now shields, finally shields are getting a nerf. There's a bunch of nerfs for shields. Now what they've done is they basically removed the damage from when you get dashed by a shield, which is a hugely important one because that was so frustrating. It was like you just died instantly to a shield all the time. So a huge change there. Now they've also improved the detection system for shield bashing and melee hits. So knifing and all that will basically be improved, because obviously there was times where you're getting knifed from like literally miles away. So again, a good adjustment there. Now they've lowered the amount of bullets to slow down the shield when you're actually shooting it. So another good change. So there's been a few good changes here, and there's another one with Monty. So you know the way when Monty would stand in a doorway and like the diffuser's behind him and you can't get into the room, there's a way now where you can actually keep hitting his shield, and if he doesn't attempt to maneuver or drop his shield, it will give you a better chance of taking out the Monty. So there's a ton of changes for shields, a finally needed change. Now there's still no change to the Boss G, but it's at least a step in the right direction for the shields. Now we're going to move on to the next thing here, and we're going to take a look at some of the new reputation system, which is getting a full overhaul for the new season. Now everyone's reputation will be reset, which is a huge thing. So it gives everyone kind of like a fresh, slate to start off with. So it's a hugely important part. Now there's tons of different sections to this. They've added a new graph where you can track the negative behavior versus the positive behavior, and they've been represented as unit points. So they'll basically track you over a 90-day period where you'll be able to watch and see any repeated patterns. Now obviously there's going to be mistakes. You might nade your teammate by accident, but as I said, it's all based on repeated patterns. You'll be able to track everything in the standing chart, from people giving you commendations to obviously positive feedback, people being nice to you in game chat, you being nice to them in game chat. And with that, they're adding a new AI moderation bot for the text chat. So if you're trying to be a little bit rude in the chat and trying to talk shit to people, then you got to be careful, because your messages will be flagged or removed from the chat. Now, as for matchmaking changes, they're adding this new system called Phantom Player. Now, Phantom Player will basically analyze the players as you're matchmaking, and we'll see like some people trying to boost. You might have a champ with a bunch of coppers and golds. But basically what it'll do now is it'll try to balance it so that's a bit of a fairer matchup between the two teams, and it will also take into account if you're in a 5-stack or a 3-stack, and it will try to match you up with other 5-stacks. So this Phantom Player system hopefully will help with that matchmaking and make for better team rebalancing. And moving on to the console changes that are coming this season. This is the biggest season for console, I think, ever in its history of Siege. So basically they're adding a crossplay for you to have the ability to play with your friends over on a PC. Now with that being said, if you're using M&K on a console, the mousetrap system will detect and give you 3 warnings before you will be moved over into PC lobbies. Now you'll be moved over there for 90 days or 100 matches, so you might want to think twice about using M&K on console. You're also getting the Siege Cup and being able to access the test server for the first time in its history. Now for some of the hidden changes, some of the weird ones, I found this medical box that is now apparently on all of the maps in the game, and they've taken out the fire extinguisher. I have no idea why this change is there. It's such a weird one, but we'll see, or if there's something they're doing with it, who knows. But I noticed this as I was going around the maps. Now the next change is they've turned a barrel that was laid on the ground and is now standing up outside of the back of Oregon. Again, no idea why they decided to fix this. I guess hugely important change, but for you guys to know, I had to make sure that it was there for you guys. Now the next one is, this is the biggest one, is on the top floor of Oregon, just inside the big window over by the bunks in the corner. That floor is now metal. You cannot shoot from below or from down from above. So basically anyone that would normally open up the white window and try and shoot through the floor of any defender sitting in the corner, or vice versa, if a defender is trying to shoot down onto that white window, there is now a metal floor stopping you from doing so. So that's a little interesting change. There wasn't really any other drastic changes that I found. Now there might be other ones as the test server comes out. We might learn some of other changes, but that's the most major one that I spotted. Now the next change, they basically have lowered stun grenades from 3 down to 2. Now this other change, which is kind of odd, so you might remember when you rappel in a window and if there's someone standing right in front of the window that you would kill them. Now you cannot do that anymore, and the only one who can do it is Amaru. Now I didn't notice this, I haven't killed someone from doing that in such a long time, but it's such a weird change that now only Amaru can do it. I guess it kind of makes sense a little bit, but at the same time it's still a weird hidden change. Now I got a little crazy when I was looking on these maps because I was getting so mad that there wasn't like other significant changes like the one on Oregon. So I found that the color of the hatch on Canal on the top floor on that main wall inside the box area, they changed the color of the hatch. So I guess it's just maybe to see it easier. I'm not quite sure, but I guess that is the case. And then I also noticed that they removed some cupcakes off the floor of prep for some reason. So I don't really know what they were trying to do with some of the changes this season, putting medical boxes and removing cupcakes, but it's certainly a strange one. So as for like my overall opinion of this new season, again, I'm gonna have to be honest and say I feel like it's just not enough. There is a lot of quality of life changes, and I do know that console is going to have one of the biggest seasons for a very, very long time. Them being able to play the test server is huge. Them being able to play with PC players, crossplay is something that people have wanted for a very, very long time. So there are a lot of pros to this new season. I wasn't expecting the Blackbeard change. I was hoping for something a little different, maybe a fresh take on Blackbeard. But I guess the Shield, we'll have to see how it plays out throughout the season. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Get down into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on everything that's coming this season. As for me, I do feel like there's still a lacking of content. I'd love to see, and if they were doing this rework, have another new operator or a rework of a map, or I know a new map is probably asking too much, but again, just some of these things, because we've gone from getting 2 ops a season and a map to getting pretty much just reworks of operators. So again, I really appreciate everyone who's checked out the video and has gotten to this point. Get down into the comment section, hit that like button, and of course if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And as always,